Alright, it's been about a year now since we last saw a solo album from Ty Segall, so you probably know what that means. Yeah, it's time for a new Ty Segall record. We're actually running late. We're due for one. This is a guy that usually releases at least 1 or 2 albums a year, and so now that he's running late, I guess he decided to apologize with a double album. Yeah, so just 1 year and he's already got a new double album out. This is Ty Segall's Manipulator. So if you're not super familiar with Ty Segall yet, this is a songwriter who is based on the West Coast, has really been leading the charge for the psychedelic rock movement that we've seen from that area for the past several years. He has collaborated with White Fence, with Michael Cronin, with Fuzz, and he's either singing or playing guitar or playing drums for any sort of band at any given time. So this guy is super productive, he's very prolific, and we've seen a lot of music from him lately. He's consistently released satisfying records for the past couple of years, and I can't say he's ever actually disappointed me with anything that he's done lately. So this new album, Manipulator, it is huge, it's mammoth, it's 17 tracks, over an hour's worth of music, and it is heavy. We've always detected some influence from, Sabbath or Zeppelin, but I don't think that he's really gotten as heavy as he has now for some time, which makes sense because generally his records are kind of a response to each other. And his last album, Sleeper, was a little bit more acoustic, a little bit more of a singer-songwriter type affair. This one is just a mammoth, huge album. Ty Segall generally records for maybe 4 or 5 days per album. He gets in the studio and he cranks them out super quickly. This time around, he actually spent a month in the studio coming up with these songs and recording these songs. And I really think that time commitment really shows on this album. Because not only do you have songs that sound great and sound very, very solid and very well put together, there's also a lot of attention to detail here that I don't think we've seen from this guy ever. The way that these sounds are put together, it all works very well and very methodically. But with that being said, this is still super high energy, so it doesn't really get cerebral or anything like that. It's just going to pummel you with some of these just heavy guitar riffs, and the pop hooks that Ty Segall laces into these things are just about as good as he's ever had before. And a lot of my favorite songs off of this record are those that have those big choruses and those big hooks, like The Clock. It's just super catchy. Feel, or Tall Man, Skinny Lady. These are all songs that I really think transcend the genre of psychedelic rock, which is probably what this album does best at its core. Even though this is an album that's steeped in its genre, steeped in psychedelic rock and roll, it does have a lot to like above and beyond those genre conventions. So I think that if you are a fan of just rock and roll in general, or even if you find yourself a little more compelled to indie rock or 90s rock or anything like that, I think you can find something here to like about a lot of these songs. Now the downside of that though is that, this is a double album. It's easy to feel overwhelmed by just the sheer size of an album like this. And Ty Segall doesn't really help himself, he doesn't really do himself any favors by having a lot of these having very similar song structures and a very similar texture and timbre to his music. But with that being said, if you are into that loud, raw, distorted guitar noise, it sounds great on this record. I really think that Ty Segall one-upped himself on this album. Even though this album may not be as raw as something like Slaughterhouse, it's definitely not polished in a bad way. Instead, these songs are approachable. In fact, if anything, it really just enhances how good of a songwriter he can be. So overall, I think this is probably an 8.2. I highly recommend it. I think that you'll like it. If you like music, you'll find something about Manipulator to like. This is definitely going to be on my end of the year, best of the year list whenever we get closer to that time. If you thought this review was helpful, please like it below or subscribe to this channel. Even better yet, check out earbuddy.net for more reviews like this one. But that's enough about me. I want to hear about you. What was your response to this album? Did you like it or did you not like it? Do you think that I got this one wrong somehow? Let me know. Otherwise, I'll see you guys later.